Everyone assumes the F-35 is the ultimate king of the skies, but for Ukraine's survival, stealth is becoming a secondary priority. While the world chases radar and visibility, the Saab Gripen is proving that logistic flexibility and the deadly Meteor missile are what actually win deep penetration missions. Is the stealth doctrine officially dead? Imagine a fighter jet landing on a narrow, improvised highway, refueling in minutes, and launching back into the fray while stealth hangars are being turned to rubble. This is why Ukraine chose the Gripen over more F-35s. When you're fighting for every inch of airspace, kinematic superiority beats a stealthy profile every single time. The F-35 is a technological marvel, but it has one fatal flaw in a high-intensity conflict. It's a hangar queen that requires pristine runways. Ukraine needs a predator that can survive in the mud and strike from the shadows. By leveraging the Gripen's unique design, they found a lethal way to outclass the F-35's range and sustainability.
Pentagon loves one word: stealth. For decades, that word sounded like magic. If an aircraft was stealthy, it could enter enemy airspace, strike first, and vanish before the enemy even understood what happened. But Ukraine's war has exposed something brutal. Modern airspace is not clean, empty, or predictable. It is saturated with radars, drones, electronic warfare systems, mobile air defenses, decoys, satellites, and missile traps. In this kind of battlefield, the question is no longer simple. Which jet is the most advanced? The real question is far more serious. Which jet can survive when everything is hunting it? That is why the Swedish Saab JAS 39 Gripen is suddenly impossible to ignore. While many people keep debating whether Ukraine needs the F-35, Sweden's Gripen offers something less glamorous, but far more practical. It is built for a war where airbases are bombed, runways are damaged, and pilots may only have minutes to refuel, reload, and disappear again. In my opinion, this is where the real debate begins. The F-35 is a technological masterpiece, and nobody serious should deny that. Its sensors, stealth shaping, data fusion, and strikeability are world-class. But world-class does not always mean battlefield practical, especially when a country is fighting under constant missile pressure with limited maintenance capacity, damaged infrastructure, and an enemy that has turned the sky into a layered trap. Stealth is powerful, but stealth is not invisibility. A stealth fighter is designed to reduce detection, not erase itself from reality. Against older radar networks, that advantage can be terrifying. But against layered systems, passive detection, low-frequency radars, infrared sensors, and electronic triangulation, the aircraft is not completely gone. It is simply harder to see, and harder does not mean impossible.
This is where the fallacy of stealth begins. A highly advanced stealth jet may look unbeatable on paper, but the battlefield asks cruel questions. What happens when the runway is destroyed? What happens when the hangar is hit? What happens when the aircraft needs careful coating repair, specialized maintenance, and a long logistics chain just to stay available? An aircraft that is technically superior but grounded by maintenance problems does not defend a city, stop glide bombs, or protect soldiers on the front line. This is where the Gripen's philosophy becomes powerful. The Gripen does not try to win by looking like science fiction. It wins by being ready again and again. Sweden designed it with a Cold War nightmare in mind, Russian missiles destroying main airbases in the opening hours of war. So instead of depending only on perfect bases, the Gripen was built to scatter across public roads, hidden strips, and improvised runways. This is not just a small technical detail. This is survival doctrine. The Gripen can operate from short road sections with a small ground crew and return to the air quickly. In a Ukrainian scenario, that matters more than polished hangars and perfect airbases, because Russia does not need to defeat every fighter in the sky if it can destroy the places where those fighters are parked. The Gripen's answer is simple. Then do not stay parked there. Move, hide, refuel, reload, and launch again. That is the highway war, and it changes the entire meaning of air power. It means the aircraft is not tied to one obvious target. It can disappear into the road network, survive the first strike, and come back when the enemy thinks the Air Force has already been neutralized.
Now, add the Meteor missile, and the story becomes even more dangerous for Russia. The Meteor is not just another air-to-air missile. Its ramjet propulsion allows it to keep energy deep into the engagement, giving it a much larger no-escape zone compared with older missile designs. In simple words, when an enemy aircraft enters that danger area, escaping becomes much harder. For Ukraine, this matters because Russian aircraft often try to launch glide bombs from distance while staying behind protected zones. If Gripen pilots can threaten those aircraft from farther away, the entire Russian comfort zone starts shrinking. Suddenly, Russian pilots cannot feel safe just because they are not directly over the battlefield. The Gripen does not need to behave like an old-school fighter, loudly announcing itself with radar. With networked targeting and data link support, it can receive information from other platforms, launch its missile, update the weapon in flight, and stay harder to locate. That changes the fight from hiding to striking. Instead of asking whether the aircraft can remain invisible forever, the better question becomes whether it can strike before the enemy gets a clean shot. This is the kinematic argument. Speed, missile energy, launch position, data links, and timing can matter as much as stealth shaping. A fighter that fires first from the right position may not need to be the most invisible aircraft in the sky. It needs to be connected, mobile, and lethal. In a saturated airspace, survival does not come from one feature. It comes from a combination of range, mobility, electronic warfare, missile performance, pilot tactics, and operational availability.
Then comes electronic warfare, and this is where the Gripen becomes more than a small fighter with a powerful missile. Saab's Arexis electronic warfare suite is designed to detect, confuse, and jam advanced threats. The idea is not classic invisibility, it is digital survival. Instead of only relying on the physical shape of the aircraft, the Gripen uses electronic deception. It listens, identifies signals, jams hostile systems, and distorts the enemy's picture. It tries to turn the radar screen into confusion. In modern war, making the enemy uncertain for even a few seconds can be the difference between life and death. This is why I believe the future is not only about stealth. The future is about stealth, electronic warfare, missile reach, mobility, and uptime working together. And uptime may be the most underrated word in modern air combat. A fighter that is theoretically superior but stuck in maintenance does not protect anyone. It does not intercept bombers, it does not stop missiles, it does not support troops. A less glamorous jet that flies today, flies tomorrow, and flies again after the base is attacked may become more valuable than a perfect machine that needs perfect conditions. That is the dramatic shift Ukraine is forcing the world to understand. For years, air forces wanted the most expensive, most advanced, and most prestigious aircraft possible. But Ukraine is proving that high-intensity war is not a showroom or a defense expo. It is mud, smoke, broken concrete, frozen roads, exhausted crews, and pilots who need aircraft that can keep fighting under pressure.
This is where the Gripen becomes personal for Europe. It represents a different philosophy of war. Not protect the jet by building a perfect base, but protect the mission by making the jet impossible to pin down. That is why the Gripen story feels bigger than Ukraine. It is about Europe learning that dependence is dangerous. Dependence on one supplier, one runway, one maintenance chain, one missile stockpile, or one idea of air superiority can become a strategic weakness. The Gripen is not magic. It is not invincible. It will still face Russian air defenses, long-range missiles, electronic warfare, and battlefield losses. Anyone claiming it will instantly change the war is exaggerating, but anyone ignoring it is missing the point. The Gripen is not threatening because it is the flashiest fighter. It is threatening because it fits the war. It can disperse, carry Meteor, fight through electronic warfare, operate with fewer resources, and return to the fight when a more delicate system may still be waiting for parts, technicians, or a safe runway. So here is the conclusion. The F-35 represents the dream of air dominance through technological perfection, but the Gripen represents the reality of air survival through adaptability. In Ukraine's skies, where no base is safe, no signal is ignored, and no aircraft gets a second chance simply because it is expensive, adaptability may become the new stealth. The future of air warfare may not belong only to the jet that hides best. It may belong to the jet that gets found, survives, moves, reloads, and strikes again. And that is why Russia may fear the Gripen more than the world expected.